Let fame that all hunt after in their lives live registered upon our brazen tombs, and then grace us in the disgrace of death, when spite of cormorant devouring time, the endeavour of this present breath may buy that honour which shall bait his scythe's keen edge, and make us heirs of all eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are that war against your own affections, and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world, our court shall be a little academy, still in contemplative and living art. You three, Baroun, Dumaine, and Longueville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in the schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your names, this, that his own hand may strike his honor down that violates the smallest branch herein. If you are armed to do as sworn to do, subscribe to your deep oaths, and to keep it too. I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years' fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat paunches have lean pates, and dainty bits make rich the ribs, but bankrupt quite the wits. My loving lord, Domain is mortified. The grosser manner of these world's delights he throws upon the gross world's basest slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die with all these living in philosophy. I can but say their protestation over so much their liege have already sworn that is to live and study here 3 years. But there are other strict observances, and not to see a woman in that term, which I hope well is not enrolled there, and 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day besides, the which I hope is not enrolled there, and then to sleep but 3 hours in the night, and not to be seen to wink of all the day, when I was wont to think no harm all night, and make a dark night two of half the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. These are barren tasks too hard to keep, not to see ladies study, fast, not sleep. Your oath is past to pass away from these. Let me say no, my liege, and if you please, I only swore to study with your grace, and stay here in your court for 3 years per space. You swore to that Baroun and to the rest. Be yea and nay, sir, that then I swore in jest. What is the end of study, let me know. Why, that to know which else we should not know. Things hid and barred, you mean, from common sense. Aye, that is study's godlike recompense. Come on, then. I will swear to study so, to know the thing I am forbid to know, as thus, to study where I well may dine, when I to feast expressly am forbid, or study where to meet some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid, or having sworn too hard a keeping oath, study to break it, and not break my troth, if study's gain be thus, and this be so. Study knows that which yet it doth not know. Swear me to this, and I will ne'er say no. These be the stops that hinder study quite, and train our intellects to vain delight. Why, all delights are vain, and that most vain which will pain purchase doth inherit pain, is painfully to pore upon a book, to seek the light of truth, while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light of light beguile, so ere you find where light in darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study me how to please the eye indeed, by fixing it upon a fairer eye, whose dazzling so that I shall be this heed, and give him light that it was blinded by. Study is like the heaven's glorious sun, that will not be deep searched with saucy looks. Small have continual plotters ever won, save base authority from others' books. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights, that give a name to every fixed star, have no more profit of their shining nights than those that walk and wot not what they are. Too much to know is to know naught but fame, and every godfather can give a name. How well he's read to reason against reading. Proceed well, to stop all good proceeding. He weeds the corn, and still lets grow the weeding. The spring is near, when green geese are a-breeding. How follows that? Fits in his place and time. In reason nothing, something that in rhyme. Brown is like an envious sneaping frost that bites the firstborn infants of the spring. Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I join any abortive birth? At Christmas I no more desire a rose than wish a snow in May's newfangled shows. But like of each thing that in season grows, so you, to study now it is too late. Climb o'er the house to unlock the little gate. Well, you sit you out. Go home, Brown, adieu. No, my good lord, I have sworn to stay with you, and though I have for barbarism spoke more than for that angel knowledge you can say, yet confident I'll keep what I have sworn and bide the penance of each 3 years' day. Give me the paper, let me read the same, and to the strictest decrees I'll write my name. How well this yielding rescues thee from shame. Item, that no woman shall come within a mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed 4 days ago? Let's see the penalty, on pain of losing her tongue. Who devised this penalty? Mary, that did I. Sweet lord, and why? To fright them hence, and with that dread penalty? Dangerous law against gentility. Item, if any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possible devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break, for well you know here comes in embassy the French king's daughter with yourself to speak, a maid of grace and complete majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bedrid father. Therefore this article is made in vain, or vainly comes the admired princess hither. What say you, lords? Why, this was quite forgot. So study evermore is overshot. Well, it doth study to have what it would, it doth forget to do the thing it should. And when it hath the thing it hunteth most, 'tis one as towns with fire, so won, so lost. We must of force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity. Necessity will make us all forsworn 3,000 times within this 3 years' space. For every man with his effect is born, not by might mastered, but by special grace. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So to the laws at large I write my name, and he that breaks them in the last degree stands in attainder of eternal shame. Suggestions are to other as to me. But I believe, although I seem so loath, I am the last that will last keep his oath. But is there no quick recreation granted? Aye, that there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a refined traveler of Spain, a man in all the world's new fashion planted, that hath a mint of phrases in his brain. One who the music of his own vain tongue doth ravish like enchanting harmony, a man of compliments, whom right and wrong hath chose as umpire of their mutiny. This child of fancy that Armado hight, for interim to our studies shall relate, in high-born words, the worth of many a knight, from tawny Spain lost in the world's debate. How you delight, my lords, I know not I, but I protest I love to hear him lie, and I will use him for my minstrelsy. Armado is a most illustrious wight, a man of fire new words, fashion's own knight. Custard the swain, and he shall be our sport, and so to study 3 years is but short. Which is the Duke's own person? This fellow. Why wouldst? I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his Grace's Farborough, but I would see his own person in flesh and blood. This is he. Signor, commends you. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more. Sir, the contempts thereof are as touching me. A letter from the magnificent Armado. How low soever the matter, I hope in God for high words. A high hope for a low heaven. God grant us patience. To hear forbear hearing, to hear meekly, sir, and to laugh moderately, or to forbear both. Well, sir, be it as the style shall give us cause to climb in the merriness. The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Jaquenetta, the matter of it is, I was taken with the manor. In what manner? In manner and form following, sir, all those three. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, and taken following her into the park, which put together is in manner and form following. Now, sir, for the manner. It is the manner of a man to speak to a woman for the form, in some form. For the following, sir. As it shall follow in my correction, and God defend the right. Will you hear this letter with attention, as we would hear an oracle? Such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh. Great deputy, thou Welkin's vicegerent and sole dominator of Navarre, my soul's earth's god and body's fostering patron. Not a word of custard yet. So it is. It may be so, but if he say it is so, he is in telling true, but so. Peace be to me and every man that dares not fight. No words of other men's secrets, I beseech you. So it is with sable-colored melancholy I did commend the black oppressing humour to the most wholesome physic of thy health-giving air. And as I am a gentleman betook myself to walk, the time when, about the 6th hour, when beasts most graze, birds best peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. So much for the time when, now for the ground which I mean, which I walked upon, it is yclept thy park. Then for the place where I mean, I did encounter that obscene and most preposterous event that draweth from my snow-white pen the ebon-coloured ink, which here thou viewest, beholdest, surveyest, or seest. But to the place where it standeth north-northeast, and by east from the west's corner of thy curious knotted garden, there did I see that low-spirited swain, that base minnow of thy mirth. Me? That unlettered, small-knowing soul. Me? That shallow vassal. Still me? Which, as I remember, hight costard. Oh, me! Sorted and consorted, contrary to thy established proclaimed edict, and continent canon, but with this I passion to say wherewith. With a wench. With a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman, him I, as my ever-esteemed duty pricks me on, have sent to thee, to receive the need of punishment by thy sweet grace's officer Anthony Dull, a man of good repute, carriage, hearing, and estimation. Me, and it shall please you, I am Anthony Dull. For Jaquenetta, so is the weaker vessel called, which I apprehended with the aforesaid swain. I keep her as a vessel of thy law's fury, and shall, at the least of thy sweet notice, bring her to trial, thine and all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty. This is not so well as I looked for, but the best that ever I heard. Aye, the best for the worst. But, sirrah, what say you to this? Sir, I confess the wench. Did you hear the proclamation? I do confess much of the hearing it, but little of the marking of it. It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment, to be taken with a wench. I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel. Well, it was proclaimed damsel. This was no damsel either, sir. She was a virgin. It is so very too, for it was proclaimed a virgin. If it were, I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid. This maid will not serve your turn, sir. This maid will serve my turn, sir. Sir, I pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water. I had rather pray a month with mutton and porridge. And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My Lord Brown, see him delivered o'er. And go we lords to put in practice that which each to other hath so strongly sworn. I'll lay my head to any goodman's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Sirrah, come on. I suffer for the truth, sir. For true it is I was taken with Jaquinetta, and Jaquinetta is a true girl. Therefore welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again, and till then sit thee down, sorrow.